oftentimes when people talk about Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez just still kind of like pining for each other, I go, come on, guys, get over it. They were children. Look at them in this photo. This was a lifetime ago, right? Get over it. Get over it. Justin's been married for like going on a decade almost. Selena's engaged to Benny Blanco, right? They've moved on. But Justin Bieber was crashing out on Instagram again yesterday, and I couldn't help but notice that it seemed as though this time, maybe, just maybe, he really was talking about Selena Gomez because she recently got engaged, right? So why else would he post this kind of a video on his Instagram feed? It's the guy from Lord of the Rings. Who is this? I don't watch the Lord of the Rings. This is like the Dobby for you guys. What is that? Who is this guy? The guy who gets the ring, the little gremlin, and just so excited about getting the ring, my pretty and whatnot. Who else just recently got engaged that he would be potentially talking about other than his ex-girlfriend, Selena Gomez? I don't know what's happening with him. I think some of these Instagram stories are still live. So if you guys head over to his Instagram, you probably should still be able to see them if they haven't expired yet or if he hasn't deleted them yet. And there were so many. I only chose 2 for today's morning report because we do not have time to get into everything that he put out there. And then he posted this video of Doja Cat. And then the caption of the meme said, "Me acting psycho daily when I'm just a sweet, cute, innocent girl who crashes out sometimes." I don't know. Something's going on with Justin Bieber. And we talked about this earlier in the week. Earlier in the week, it didn't have anything to do with his crash out, didn't have anything to do with it in particular, but he was showing up on Instagram looking very, very high out of his mind. And it just seems like he's not in a good place. I'm worried about him. I hope that he's got people around him who are encouraging him to seek help. But I don't know. I really don't know. Does he want to get help? It doesn't look like it. Good morning, Allie. Nice to see you. Thanks, guys. Gollum. Yes, that is who it is. And it's so funny because we talk about Gollum so much in with respect to Ashley Darby from the Real Housewives of Potomac, right? Like we're talking about when we talk about her husband. Well, people, I've never called him this because I don't know Lord of the Rings, right? But people would call him Gollum. So I've always heard the word, but I forgot that it was this guy. Thank you. Venetia gives us a health update about her husband. She says he had trouble breathing and a stomach virus. He's doing better and will be home today. Oh, Lord, have mercy. These viruses are just so harsh these days. I've been hearing about something about a norovirus as well. Like, have you guys been touched by that? I hope not. You know, I'm knocking on wood that that's not the case, but it feels like there's always something going around. Thanks so much for keeping us posted, Venetia. We're going to continue to hope for the best for him, okay? Shemtum says, I never thought Justin that was actually over Selena, but who knows? We don't know these people, right? It feels, I don't know. You know, him getting married to Haley kind of reminded me of Naya Rivera, rest her soul, getting married to her son's father because it was very quick, right? She was in a long-term relationship with Big Sean. Big Sean had proposed to her. They were supposed to get married on a certain date, but they broke up. And what did she do? She replaced him like that with her son's father. And then they got married on that date. It was very rushed. And then the marriage, of course, imploded. Like, that's the vibe I always got. However, I do have to say that I'm so surprised that Justin and Haley have stayed married this long. Like, to me, on the outside looking in, it doesn't look, you know, for Haley's sake, it doesn't look like the greatest marriage or like relationship or whatever. But something's working there for them to be, you know, still at it all these years later. It's been like 7 going on 8 years for them. Shayna says, I've also seen claims that Bieber is crashing out, scared he's going to be linked to Diddy. You know what? And I have heard that as well, right? And I think this is something we talked about when he was seemingly high on Instagram stories. People were saying, listen, maybe just everything that's come out with like the Diddy of it all and him being linked to it and potentially information about him and what might have happened to him, if anything happened to him, because we don't know. Maybe these are things that are haunting him right now. And I remember thinking maybe just any trauma in general, because I think he had a really rough childhood even before he got discovered. maybe those things are bubbling to the surface for him, or maybe just the way he was treated in the industry by a lot of people, including some women in Hollywood. Jenny, I forgot her name again. I think it's Jenny McCarthy, about McCartney and people like that. Maybe it's that type of stuff. I don't know, but it seems like it's very bad. He's really going through it, and I hope that they get him into some sort of therapy to get help, because it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And things like this typically do not end well. Good morning, Bree. Nice to have you here. Ali says, not him having Tupac in the stories. Respectfully, take him out the group chat. What is it with everybody referencing Tupac always, right? Like, you saying this reminds me of remember when Kendall Jenner was asked who her spirit animal is, and she said it was Tupac? Girl, what? And then remember, for those of you who watch Vanderpump Rules, the way that Lala would say the same thing, like, she's Tupac reincarnated, like she loves Tupac. Like, why is it always Tupac with these people? Why? Right? And Brie, that's why I'm so surprised that that Haley has stayed married to him for this long, because he just doesn't seem that nice to her. He doesn't treat her like he even likes her. Oh, Ronnie says he looks like he relapsed, right? Like, it could be anything. I don't know what happened to this guy, but he's not looking good. Can anybody pinpoint when this might have potentially started? Because it's been going on for quite a while. And she says he's feeling like he made Selena feel all those years ago. He can't handle it now that the shoe's on the other foot. Ooh, maybe that's it. He wasn't the best boyfriend to her when he was dating her. And then he never would let her leave. Anytime she'd leave the relationship, remember when he was showing up at her gate trying to be let into her house and everything? Like, he's one of those guys, and we all know those kinds of guys, right? Like, they don't act right in the relationship. And so when en français on dit quand tu prends tes clics et tes claques, when you take your things and leave, they're rushing to drag you back in, because they don't want you necessarily, or they don't want to do right by you, but they don't want someone else to treat you well. And it's very, very, very sad. Very sad. And yes, thank you for clarifying. No, people look at him more as a potential victim because he was a child when all of that stuff came out, right? And so I think maybe he's afraid that if he was potentially victimized in the Diddy situation, maybe that will come out, and I don't think if that happened, that's something that he would want to have come out. Kristen says, I feel like he's going down the path of Aaron Carter. Oh, I remember Aaron Carter. Rest his soul as well. Rest his soul as well. Yeah, he was spiraling really hard too. He was. All that glitters isn't gold. You always hear about everybody wanting to be a child star or this or that. Look at the way these people end up. It's a very, very ugly, very, very brutal industry. So, if you have kids who want to be stars or whatever, please warn them of the dangers, in an age appropriate way, of course.